Hello, I'm here at Highland Park Elementary School in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I'm joined by Miss Madeleine Dunn, who's a teacher here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Miss Dunn, would you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I am originally from Yukon, Oklahoma. I came up to Stillwater to do my undergrad at elementary education at OSU. Fell in love with the town, loved it a lot, tried to defy my parents a little bit. My mom gave me advice to go straight into my master's program, and I didn't want to listen to my mom, and so I went back home for a year and then had to tell my mom, you were right, and I came back to Stillwater to do my master's. Always listen to your parents because they do sometimes give really good advice. But I came back to do my master's in educational leadership studies, and I just graduated this past December.
Okay, great. All right. So mom was right.
Yes, mom was right.
Okay. All right. So how about your training to be did that prepare you for the classroom? What was that like for you?
I would say part of it, it prepared me a lot for the lessons plans and curriculum side of things. The classroom management, all of the preparation really happened during student teaching. They can give you theories and give you examples and try and help you, but you really don't know until you're in it and working with another teacher, and that other teacher your mentor teacher helps give you advice and is like, this is how I would approach this, and kind of give them these different things. And so that student teaching experience is what really prepared me. And OSU is very good about it. They will give you like 3 or 4 throughout your entire 4 years.
So you go around to an urban school,
Yes.
the suburban school. You get a different experience.
I was in a middle school once, learned that age is not for me very quickly, and came back down to elementary and kind of found my niche group of kids.
Okay, so in that sense, it helped you to understand here's what teaching is going to be really like. But it's those student teaching experiences, it sounds like that's where the meat was at for you.
Yes, 100%. Okay. That's that hands-on experience of, okay, now you have to be the teacher as well with somebody that's helping behind you. And it really kind of encourages you to kind of try things and see if you can find your footing while also having the support of someone right behind you.
Yeah. And then you step into the classroom, you're no longer a student teacher anymore. Yeah. Are you on your own at that point, or is there anyone around? I mean, how's that work?
Yeah. So when you first step into the classroom as a first-year teacher, you will have another mentor teacher. And so that first year, you're not on your own. You have somebody that you can go to and ask for advice. You are alone by yourself in the classroom with kids all day, but there is someone that you can always text. And even admin or leadership or even our instructional coach here has been very helpful of like, okay, I need this. What can somebody come help me? And so I've never felt like I've been alone on any aspect of my teaching career.
Wow, that's great. So as I understand, you teach first grade.
Yes.
Okay, that must be a tough grade to teach.
It's a little interesting because they come in from kindergarten, which is all purposeful play. And so it's really just, they have never read before, really, kind of the way you're making them read. And so they go from a lot of play to, okay, now we have to sit. You have to be able to write. You have to know your letters. You have to be able to do this.
You're doing academics now.
You're doing academics now. And so it gets a little hard, and kids don't like it there's lots of tears the first few months of school because it's, yes, your sentence has to have a capital letter, and they don't really understand the why behind it until you start to teach them those things.
Yeah. So then why did you choose first grade? Is there something about that process that you enjoy?
So when I knew coming into my career that I wanted to eventually become a principal, and as a leader in a building, I didn't want to look at future teachers and say I had no idea how to teach phonics. And so I really asked last year, I taught 5th grade last year, and so I asked my principals, I was like, I really want to be in an early childhood classroom. I want to be able to know how to teach phonics. That way when a teacher comes to ask me later on, I can help them and give them strategies rather than just being like, I don't know, good luck. And so that was what I really wanted to do. And
So your goal is, I want to teach for a while, but eventually you want to move into a leadership role within the school.
Yes, I would like to teach for probably 5 years and then move into a leadership position. It's just leadership is something that's been my passion for a long time. I was very involved in student council, very involved in student government in college. And so stepping into my career, I knew that I would have a bigger calling, a bigger purpose than just, not that teaching's not the biggest calling I think in the world, but.
So it's not, if you become a teacher, it's not necessarily the case that you would stay a teacher for your entire career. There might be other things that you do within schools as your career expands. In your case, you kind of have a plan to do that.
Yes.
That's really neat. So let's get back to first grade for a minute here, because I'm really interested in first grade. What are your students like? And when do you know that when it sounds like you're teaching them, they're doing academics for the first time. I mean, do you see the benefits of that work by the end of the year? Can you see that they've changed from the time they start first grade to the end of first grade?
You can really see a change. With first graders, they're really starting to learn how to read and do all of those things. And at the beginning of the year, we're doing CVC. So it's just the consonant, vowel, consonant words. And what really stuck for me was I was going back through and doing assessments with kids at December. And I had a kid be able to read a lot of words that I hadn't taught them yet. But at the beginning of the year, they weren't able to read at all. And so kind of that is when I knew that I was like, oh, wow, I'm actually making
you helped a kid learn how to read.
Kid learn how to read. And that kind of really sat with me and was like, it was very shocking to see and kind of sit with for a minute of just be like, now that them leaving first grade, they are going to know how to read. And that just is what made it.
Yeah, that's actually awesome because once you see them learn how to read, then it just opens up all kinds of learning.
Everything. It kind of just takes off. That same student just did their end of year assessment and they finished and they are now reading at a third grade reading level. And I was just like, oh my God. I was blown away when I saw her score. I was like, my mouth dropped. I just was like, wow. It's just been such a rewarding and enriching experience to see this child go from somebody who doesn't know how to read, not that they aren't expected to know how to read it beginning of first grade to now they are taken off and everything. It's just been amazing with them.
Yeah, that's really neat. So I guess there aren't too many jobs out there where, I mean, there are certainly some great and impactful jobs out there, but I can't think of too many like that where you can see such an incredible sort of, in a way, once you start to read, I mean, that's sort of life-changing for a young one. So that's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm. Especially once they come back and they talk about their favorite books and it's like, oh my gosh, I just read Magic Treehouse by myself and I loved it so much. And just inspiring them to read other books and things that I loved as a kid as well has been very rewarding and a nice way to get to communicate with them on something that's not just our schoolwork.
Yeah. So I hear sometimes you see stories in the media, people say, coming off the pandemic, the kids are uncontrollable, and especially in the early years, I hear that you see that sometimes. And I wonder how accurate is that the kids are just impossible now post-pandemic and forget about trying to do anything. Is that your experience, or is it more nuanced maybe?
I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I would definitely say that you have to have a routine or they will be hard to control. I think that is just what is established with a lot of early childhood is like the routine is so important, and making them have that routine every day has helped a lot. But there are some days that, we are going to go off routine a little bit, and then it's very hard to get them back. Today is one of those days,
because they're first graders.
Yes. Today is one of those days. For example, I was leaving, and they were like, what? It's just like, somebody else is going to come in. It'll be fine. But it is very hard to control, and sometimes it is have those little moments of where I could see, but I also don't have the experience of teaching pre-pandemic. So these are the only kids that I know. This is what I know.
I guess the kids, you must mean a lot to the kids. Do you ever see that in your interactions with them or the families?
I do. This past Christmas, another student who the mom had never expected her child to read. She is a child that just has a harder time in class. She wrote me a Christmas letter, like a little letter about how she was able to hear her child read for the first time. And it brought me to tears. It just is like one of the most impactful things of seeing a kid, and you don't think that as a parent, you doubt the potential sometimes of like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this kid's ever going to make it. And then you see them do something and it's just so rewarding and enriching, and being able to have those close relationships with parents of just being able to send them a message and being like, hey, this is a video of your kid doing this. I hope you enjoy it. I've made some really good relationships with parents this year.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, nationally, I'm sure you're aware of this, but nationally and here in Oklahoma, fewer and fewer people are deciding to go into teaching. What do you think if someone's considering a career in teaching or is maybe on the family? What do they need to know about the job in your view?
I think something that they need to know about the job is we do more than just teach kids how to read and write. We are helping them with everything, whether it's they're coming in and they need to have their hair brushed and trying to make sure all of their basic needs are met, as well as also just teaching them how to be a human. And especially in the early ages, they don't really know what empathy means or what it looks like, and showing them good role models and trying to do those kinds of things and working with their parents to say, okay, this is what we've taught in class. Maybe you can use similar language at home to try and kind of help them become
Right. So if you're
person.
considering teaching, yes, I mean, it is instruction and
Yes.
pedagogy, but there's so much more to it. There's that
so
relational
much more.
side.
And
Does that make it overwhelming, or does it make it a part of the job that is enriching in some ways, or neither of the two?
I think it makes it more enriching and kind of just lets you know at some point it's like, I'm just working with these kids. I'm just trying to help them. And if I've helped them, even if I've just helped one in a day, I've made a difference. It is all that you need to do is to just know that if you want to be with kids and try and work and don't know 100% your calling, teaching, I think, is something that everybody should at least try, because you never know until you try it. And working with kids, especially at this kind of age, I learned things from them so much of just like on how to do different things. Today or yesterday, we have these little ducks that are around our school right now for kindness. And we got a duck, it was number 11, and we had to play Duck, Duck, Goose. And I was like, okay, we're going to play Duck, Duck, Goose for probably about 10 minutes. And one of my kids was like, well, it is duck number 11. I think we should play for 11 minutes. And I was like, oh, that's actually very smart reasoning. I'm going to let you play for 11 minutes. And it just is kind of interesting to see a whole different perspective, a whole new side of things that you may have not known because of your biases and just things as a person. And this is a kid who has no bias, and they don't know because they're only 6 years old, and they haven't had the experiences that you've had.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, you get to see the sort of formative process play out. That's really neat. Well, what is life like for you as a teacher outside of school? What do you do kind of in your free time? Are some of your colleagues your friends here?
Yes, I have made some of my best friends here. The women that I currently teach with on my team are my best friends, and so we do a lot together.
So your best friends are your colleagues here at the school in first grade?
Yes.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is very nice.
My best friends are not my colleagues.
I would recommend trying to make them your colleagues, because
Okay.
it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Work doesn't feel like work. I come in and it's like, oh, I get to be with my friends and they get to help me and we get to spend time together, and all are working towards a common goal of just making sure we're closing gaps with children, trying to meet all of our learners where they're at, and trying to really individualize as much as we can with these kids.
Okay. Well, Ms. Dunn, I really appreciate your time today. I know it's testing week, and so thank you for sharing with me about the teaching profession and everything you do. Really appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.